In Venezuela, the candidates for justices of peace made visits to the communes throughout the country on Saturday as part of the campaign ahead of the December 15th election. In this regard, the president of the National Assembly, Jorge Rodriguez, explained that in the upcoming days, nominees will share their proposals with the communities and listen to their needs. In these elections, more than 52,000 Venezuelans are nominated to become communal justices of peace, which will have the role of promoting coexistence and dealing with local problems pertaining to the communities. We continue in Venezuela as the International Colloquium Ayacucho 1824-2024 was held in the city of Caracas, an event that delves into the historical analysis of the Battle of Ayacucho and the Bolivarian thought in Latin America. Luis Francisco Blandón with the details.
More
than 20 speakers, including historians and academics from Latin America, gather at the Rómulo Gallegos Center for Latin American Studies in the Venezuelan capital. The events will provide an in-depth discussion on the military, political, social and cultural aspects of the Battle of Ayacucho and its transcendence in the Bolivarian project.
Each of the speakers has generated a vision, an analysis corresponding to those results of the Battle of Ayacucho and relating to our own peoples, to our own legacies. In the particular case of my presentation, I am making a comparison with Francisco Morazán and the legacy and the connections that exist and the legacy that there is with respect of the processes of emancipation of our peoples.
The motto of the colloquium, unity, sovereignty and peace, terms and lessons that, according to historians, are necessary to reveal the humanist sense of the heroic deed and its extrapolation to the current and complex international scenario and the current war conflicts.
The Battle of Ayacucho is a very bloody battle, but it has its counterpart in the capitulation of Ayacucho, when the remaining royalist troops could have perished. What Antonio José de Sucre does is an expression of the humanism of the 19th century. That is to say, to offer an honorable capitulation to the enemy, when the enemy has been defeated. Sacrifices and war efforts that have united nations in the same continent should lead us to periods of reflection of unity and peace.
But the
Battle of Ayacucho and the emancipation of the continent continues to this day for the insurgent history movement.
In another scenario and in another time, it is no longer the Hispanic domination, but the domination of the North American empire that seeks to stifle, to suffocate the achievements, the advances, and the important thing is that as long as the population is aware of each of these steps against them, I believe that the historical conscience, the social and national conscience will be strengthened, fundamentally to defend those advances that continues to be made.
This Sunday, December 8, more than 40 educational activities rescue the idea of union, of the independence values, and the importance of Ayacucho in the collective memory of Latin America 200 years after.
Luis Francisco Blandón, Caracas, Venezuela.
And we go now to Peru as civil organizations march in commemoration of the 200th anniversary of the Battle of Ayacucho, demanding justice in the country. Civil organizations march in protest, denouncing that there is still no independence and that what was achieved from the Spaniards has become a colony of the great economic powers that dominate the nation. In this sense, the social groups took to the streets to demand justice for the 50 dead that the army left behind in the protest in disapproval of the takeover of the presidency by Dina Boluarte 2 years ago. Also, in the framework of the commemorations of the Battle of Ayacucho, the activities and protests will continue in the Pampara de la Quinoa, demanding justice from the government of Boluarte.
We are neither economically nor politically free. And what is more, they have led us to a moral crisis never seen before in our country. That is why only the people will give their own economic and political independence, both in the economic structure and also in the superstructure. The superstructure is political. It is also legal. It is also judicial, both in the field of the prosecutors and the courts.
And in other news, in Colombia, authorities reported that at least one person was killed and 14 others were injured after the explosion of a motorcycle loaded with explosives in the department of Valle del Cauca. According to local media, the event occurred in the municipality of Jamundi after police and army elements at a checkpoint intercepted the motorcycle driven by a man who detonated the device. They also highlighted that at least 7 police officers and another 7 civilians were seriously wounded and were taken to local health centers to receive the necessary medical attention. In addition, the departmental administration has offered up to 100 million Colombian pesos as a reward for those who collaborate with information that allows clarifying the motives and perpetrators of this event.